So what is the replacement cost on your home? How do you calculate that? It's super simple, but it's changed a lot in the last 5 years. Part of inflation has played a factor to where your home insurance value has gone way up. Essentially, the cost of lumber has increased. The cost of materials have increased. The cost of labor has increased. And honestly, in 2023, if your home and auto hasn't gone up by 10%, consider yourself lucky. Right now, I know insurance is the fifth hatest thing in the world, and I get it. Leave your comments below. I'm okay. You can hate me. I'm an insurance guy. Throw the hate down there. But we want to at least give you the knowledge that you have so you can learn more of what you can do to save yourself the extra cost and look at coverages that you might not even need. Typically, the cost to rebuild a house in most insurance companies is somewhere between $160 to $190. Now, it can go above and a little bit below, but commonly right in that sweet spot, I see $170 to $180 per square foot. Now, that's the average home, right around $200,000 to $300,000. For your higher end class homes, it's not necessarily that you're getting more space, which is what we base the replacement value on. And we'll get more into what the replacement value actually is calculated. The materials that you have in your home make up that replacement cost. If you have crown molding around the ceilings, which I clearly have just a hole because I cut a hole in my ceiling to get to a pipe. But yeah, I do not have crown molding, so I'm not going to pay a little bit extra for that. If you have different molding around there, if you have jacuzzi tubs, bay windows, all of the different pieces that add to the value of your home, that cost could be a little bit more than you need. That cost can raise pretty quickly. If you were to look at your current home policy, you'll notice that a lot of agents, unfortunately, even in Michigan, have failed to really check what a home needs. Commonly, and I was guilty in the past, where we just throw numbers at a home, call it good, we get a 10,000 aerial foot view as we called it, and then we never went back and actually updated the home because you bought it. We're like, oh great, take it, here's your money. And that's one of the reasons a lot of these insurance agents have a bad rap because they aren't servicing the customers like they should. So the easiest way for you to calculate the replacement cost, there's two ways to look at your house. You have the value of the home. You got to remember, insurance will never cover land, at least they don't. You're looking at the value of the home and the location, but the location can play a factor in the cost of material. If it's a more preferred location, if it's harder to get material there, there's going to be extra costs that have to be calculated. Apart from diving into the structure and the outside and the interior and the piping and the different upgrades that the house has, the common is $180 per square foot. So you take the number of square feet you have, let's say in this case 2,000 square feet, we times that by 18 or 180 in our case, so your $360,000 would be your replacement cost on that house. But how do you protect yourself if your house inflates, the inflation portion? Most companies offer what's called an additional replacement cost. Honestly, almost every policy that we write comes with a package because those packages give you little discounts and give you those pieces built into them in almost every case. So having those little add-ons that you can do give you extra cash coverage, give you extra water backup in some of them, give you that full replacement cost. Some are commonly 25%. Or even 50% and even 100% based on how much you need in your scenario. In most cases, like we said, 25% additional replacement cost is very common for a home. So even though the house is $360,000, your full replacement would be $360,000 plus 25% of that amount. And because I am decent at math and not an expert, I had to do it on my calculator. It's $450,000 would be the full replacement cost of the home. Keep in mind, it's rare that you're ever going to need that because in most cases you have what's called coverage A, your dwelling. And that is the initial price that we were talking about. The $360,000 is what would cover if something happened. So if you had a fire in the kitchen or if you had the living room, something happened, whatever the case happened, there was a covered incident, you have up to that $360,000. Once it gets sort of close to that 75% of the value of the home, kind of like a car, they're going to debate whether they should just completely rip it down and start over. In these scenarios, that's where that $450,000 may kick in. The things that people aren't thinking about is what about ordinance of law? The heck is ordinance of law? Why do I do this? This is getting confusing, right? This is why, by the way, if you guys are shopping and you want more advice and you're looking for a good agent, this is for those that don't have one they love and their best friends, their cousins, brothers, best friend. we're here to help. If you guys want to get a quote with us, I'll put our link in the description below. Go ahead and check it out. We'd love to help you. But the ordinance of law is a big piece because this allows you to cover different code changes. For example, commonly you'll see a pipe that has to be ran through a wall, maybe up and over. Well, maybe the law changed because they realized that those pipes are freezing, and 20 years ago, now you have to run it under a heated system. And that system cost you $8,000 or $5,000 or $30,000. Whatever the case is, there's an extra cost for that. And if your agent hasn't built that into the policy, then you may outpocket these $8,000 just to complete the rebuild of your house. It's typically 10%, sometimes more if you want to have extra coverage. So in our case, we had $360,000. 10% would be $36,000 for that ordinance of law. Now that's just two of the multitudes of coverages that you may want to think about when you're looking at your home insurance. Although I have been licensed in close to 40 or 45 states, my main focus is Michigan. We do also do Ohio and Virginia, and I believe Tennessee. Something, one of the T's. It's in there. I keep messing it up. We do have multiple states that we're in, so we'll put a link in the description below if you want to check out the states that we're licensed in. If you're interested in getting more information, or if you want to do a quote with us, we'd be happy to at least look at it for you. If you have a situation that you've had happen, I'd love to help answer it for you if you're curious on the coverage. Now keep in mind, I'm not necessarily your agent, or if I am, then hopefully my answer is direct. But if I'm not your agent, then I can't necessarily tell you exactly what to do, because I can't tell you what X company has coverage because I don't maybe represent them and I'm not the person that set up the policy. If you are a customer of ours, reach out to our service team or even call one of our agents, and we'd love to help explain any questions that you may have on your policy. I'm Mark with Valor Insurance. I'll see you soon.